Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in today for another episode of The Nest, a podcast where we get to talk with Manor College alumni to hear about their experience as a student and what life has been like since graduating or transferring from Manor College. My name is Kelly Pfeiffer, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing Communications. Today, we are talking with a Manor College alumni, Reverend Vernon Walker, who transferred from Manor in 2009 from the psychology program. Currently, Reverend Walker is the Director of Content and External Strategy for the Robert Schalkenbach Foundation. Welcome, Reverend Walker. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, can you start us off, Vernon, by telling us, how did you hear about Manor? Why did you choose Manor? And kind of take us back to what made you decide to attend Manor.
Oh yeah, I decided to attend Manor because I used to live in the northeast section of Philadelphia, and I opened up my mail and I saw advertisements from Manor College, and that's what put Manor on my radar because I had been doing a lot of thinking about going to college. I was 20, 20 at the time, or maybe 2021 at the time, and it was on my mind, and I was thinking about which one I wanted to do my freshman year at. And I literally just opened the mailbox and found a piece of literature from Manor College, and then set the process up to come do a candidate visit and things of that nature.
That's cool. I love hearing that kind of like traditional advertising, something in the mail caught your eye and it kind of started that path for you. That's really neat to hear. So tell me, when you were 2021, was Manor your first higher education experience, or had you had some other higher ed prior to it?
Well, after I finished my time in high school at Dobbins, I did do half a semester at community college, but then I took 2 years off, and Manor was the first academic institution where I stayed at for a minimum of a semester. I did 2 semesters there, uh, and so essentially, Manor was the springboard, if you will, was my springboard to really get more deeply invested in academics and really fall in love with the discipline needed to be successful in academia. And I'm really grateful for my year experience there, as I met so many incredible folks, and some of those folks I stay in touch with. So it was really what I was looking for. It was small classroom at the time. The professors were very personable, which I'm sure the professors that teach there now are still very personable, I would imagine. And and I really like that hands-on experience, the educational experience.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely small, personal, hands-on. All those things certainly are still true today. I mean, it was 15 years ago when you transferred from Manor, so it's not that far removed, frankly. Still pretty relevant. So tell me, what kind of things were you involved with as a student, and kind of how would you describe what your year experience looked like at Manor?
Yes, one of the things I was involved in was being one of the speakers at the Cultural Diversity Forum
Mhm.
in the spring of 2009. Because I was at Manor from fall 2008 to spring of 2009. And so that was one of the extracurricular things I was into. And, you know, I really enjoyed studying at the library, and I really enjoyed meeting some friends that I'm still connected with on social media. So I was mostly very intentional about focusing on academics, so I didn't really involve myself in a lot of extracurricular activities because I wanted to give my time and my attention most of the academics. And I was also working full time as well.
Mhm.
So I would be remiss if I did not mention that. So in between working uh, and studies and at that time, I was at the beginning of my ministry. And also doing ministry work, it was, I didn't have a whole lot of additional time to be involved in a whole lot of extra curricular things.
Mhm. That is so true. So many of our students, and I mean, major kudos to you for being able to manage like school, full-time work, ministry things. I mean, that's really such a balance and a juggle. I don't know how students do it, but today, I mean, that's still incredibly true. About 90% of our current student body work while they're attending school, and we
Hmm.
believe 60 to 70% of that 90% are working full-time. So it's really, I mean, students are working here. They're not just attending college. College is not the biggest priority in their life right now. It just is not, and we are aware of that. So we have a lot of supports for how to support students. We have a food pantry. We have a career closet. We have a safe fund, which is just really a bucket of money that we donors have donated to put aside, and students, if they need to help pay an electric bill, if they need help paying for a new laptop, if they need different, things that come up in life sometimes, a tire blew on their car, they can apply for the Safe Fund, and we have those kind of non-educational resources to give them because we understand that like students are real students, they have real problems, real life stuff going on, and it's not just about grades and getting a degree. It's a lot more than that. So I'm glad to hear that like you were doing all those things too as a student. That's very true to who our students are still today. So tell me a little bit about kind of your career and how your time at Manor impacted what you ended up doing in your career and how kind of that transformed over the last 15 years.
Oh yeah. Well, at Manor, I was majoring in psychology, and after Manor, I transferred to Penn State, and I ended up doing a minor in psychology with a undergraduate in organizational leadership.
Mhm.
And for me, the courses that I took, the English courses, the philosophy courses, the religion courses, for me, that is really uh, helped shape my interests academically. And then, from Penn State, I went to study theology at Boston University, and then from there went and did a master's in public policy at Tufts, and you know those those courses at Manor really helped put me on a trajectory of just really falling in love with the academy and academics. And I took those lessons of compassion and those lessons of that we are all tied, as Dr. King said, we're all tied in the inescapable garment of mutuality, and what affects one directly affects us all indirectly. And it was really at Manor that I began to see that the bonds of the human family are interconnected. It's really at Manor that I had the opportunity to sort of be in classes with students who come from diverse walks of life, different ethnic groups, different religious identities, uh, di- different racial backgrounds. And, for me, uh, that really set up to going through a career of advocating for environmental justice and climate justice to where we are now, uh, where I'm working at the Robert Schalkenbach Foundation, where we are focused on uh, lifting voices that are related to climate change, and lifting up voices of those on the ground who are doing work around land valuation taxation and climate justice and housing justice. So really, for me, it ties back to that early experience at Manor College, where I was able to sit with peers who were different than I, but yet and still we all had a commonality and multiple commonalities, really. But one of the commonalities that protruded out to me that I noticed among me and my peers was that the love of learning
Mm.
and the love of manner, if you will, and being proud to be at Manor.
Mm.
Whether it was watching the election, watching the swearing in of President Barack Obama in January of 2009, to just really being together. So for me,
Mm.
that's how Manor has helped shape me in my formative years, with really understanding that we are all tied in the inescapable garment of mutuality, and we can work together for social justice and racial justice, and housing justice and indigenous justice, etc.
Mm.
And for me, it was really reinforced through my early learnings from my church, yes, but also from my time at Manor, and then from Manor, that was further developed at Penn State, Boston University, Tufts University, and etc.
Mm. That's great. That's really, really cool to hear how, you know, in the grand scheme of things, you had a year at Manor. That's not a super long time, but it was enough time to give you perspective, to give you some direction, to kind of reinforce something that was already in you, that you wanted to explore further. And then now you're able to see how you've been an advocate and a change agent in a lot of different ways. But the coolest part I'm thinking about, I work at the college. I've worked here for 13 years, so I know kind of our mission and our heritage pretty well. And in our mission statement, the last line of our mission statement is my favorite, and it says, "We as a college want to prepare students to serve society effectively and compassionately." And as you were talking about the different things that you've been involved with climate change, with social change, with justice and housing, and I'm just thinking like, this is exactly what we want our students to go out and do, to serve society effectively and compassionately. You're a pastor, you're a reverend. I mean, these are things that we're really, I would say, so proud to have our alumni out there doing in the world, because that's what we want them to do, to make society and to make the world a better place ultimately, which is what the sisters who founded the college, what they were all about. That's why they came to the United States to help Ukrainian orphans and to give them a better life. And we want to keep that going. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing and all the different ways that you're doing it. And we're just happy that Manor plays a small part in your bigger story. I think that's really special. So as we kind of wrap up our time here, Vernon, I just want to ask you, what advice would you give to current college students, particularly Manor students right now, knowing what you know, kind of what advice would you give them?
Oh, well, the advice I would give is take advantage of the opportunity, and while being at Manor and looking at it as a privilege to be at Manor. And from what I understand now, there are 4-year degrees.
Hmm.
When I was there, it was just 2-year degrees. So now Manor, and maybe for a while now Manor offers not only just 2-year degrees, but 4-year bachelor degrees as well. So I think it's a great launching pad, and it can be a launching pad to serving humanity and serving a greater cause. So for the students that are there, yes, take advantage of uh, the small campus. Take advantage of the personable professors. Take advantage of being a Blue Jay. That right? Blue Jay? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the mascot.
Hmm.
Take advantage of being there, and also the Ukrainian Museum,
Mm.
and get an opportunity to check that out if you haven't checked out. And I think Manor is a special place, uh, nestled in Jenkintown, a hidden gem right outside the city of Philadelphia. And I think it's a privilege for those who aren't able to go to Manor, and those who are interested in Manor, who eventually get accepted to Manor and enroll in Manor. I think you will find a very hospitable and suitable environment to professional and personal growth.
Mm. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I couldn't agree more. It really is a hidden gem. And I'm not just saying that because I work here, but it really is a special place that if you want to, maybe you weren't the best student in high school and you're feeling like I need a little bit of help before I go on to that nursing school or a little bit more before I get to that other institution that I want to, that is fine. We're happy to be that in between. Or if you're like, you know what, I just need a place where I can make some good friends and be in a small environment and I want to feel that kind of protective atmosphere. We're a great place for that. We're still pretty new to having 4-year degrees. We've had them since 2018. And actually this past year we just added a 4-year degree in psychology. So that's a big one for us. And we're finding ever since really COVID, psychology is really a popular major. A lot of students want to study psychology. A lot of students are using therapy services themselves and counseling services themselves. So we're finding that they want to, learn about it from an academic standpoint. So that's been really a popular major for us so far. And that's really neat to see students not only we offer free counseling services if you're a student, so they're using the services, but then also studying the program now. So that's been really neat to see. But thank you so much for your time and spending it with us today. I feel really encouraged by our conversation, and I'm sure others watching will as well. Thank you so much, Vernon. It was great connecting with you. And like we like to say to our alumni, you belong here always. So thank you so much and have a great day.